Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to a new episode of Words of Wellness. I'm your host, Yassir Al-Manawi. I'm a clinical therapist. Today, we're going to be talking about something of great importance, and that's remembrance of Allah and supplication. And we're also going to be talking about it in a way that teaches us, I'm talking now about psychology, teaches us humility, not humiliation, humility. Where there's a big difference between humiliation and humility, which we deal in the treatment of arrogance. Somebody who's arrogant, the opposite is humility. So let's read the hadith together, and then we are going to discuss this issue. From Nu'man ibn Bashir, radiallahu anhu, who said that Allah's Messenger, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, said, "Supplication is worship. Your Lord, the Mighty and Majestic, said, 'Call upon me, I will respond to your invocation.'" Okay, let's see. Supplication is a worship. We always say that somebody who is arrogant is somebody who always thinks that he is mighty. He is like God's gift to everybody. He's God's gift to everything. And that's why we say it's very difficult for somebody like that, who has this makeup, psychological makeup, and this personality, to do what? To realize that there is something else higher than he is, something else higher than him, that's in control. Not in control of everything else, but also in control of his life. For these type of people, it's actually difficult for them to notice and to realize the issue that I need to do supplication. It's very difficult for them to do that because they think that they are God. So what happens is that supplication, usually in treatment, I ask somebody, well, do you do supplication? They say, oh no, I don't. I don't need to do supplication. Somebody who doesn't do supplication, you're going to find the inner frame of feeling that they have is anxious, is angry, is lacking peace, is arrogant. That's the outer piece now. We went from the inner to the outer. And there is a great element of fear. And that's what all this stuff covers, the arrogance on the outside. That's what it covers. So now, let's talk about the supplication for a minute. What is supplication? Supplication, you can actually do it at any given time. You can do it in your office, you can do it in your bedroom, you can do it while you're working. You just ask for help and assistance. You ask for whatever you need. And we usually say that if you ask for something, God will provide. A lot of people would laugh about this, but this is what actually happens. It's only people that they think that they are very strong and they can maneuver and manipulate things in order for them to do what they want. These are the people that are arrogant. Let's see, what are the effects of arrogance on society, externally? If somebody is arrogant, we already talked about the inner feelings, which includes fear and all of the other stuff that we talked about. On the outside, if somebody is arrogant, did you ever work with somebody who's arrogant? I'm sure you have met somebody who's arrogant, at least. So what is arrogant? Arrogance is somebody who would just treat other people as if they are nothing, as if they are servants, as if they were there or they were created to serve him or her. That's arrogance. And as we all know, somebody with a drop of arrogance in their hearts will not enter paradise. And that's why we're talking about this issue. I think more than once we alluded to that. Arrogance could lead to a lot of diseases too, emotional imbalances. And that would be isolation, and that would be it could be addiction, because a lot of people who are addicted, they are arrogant, and they think that they are in control, not only of their lives but of everybody else's life. An arrogant person, he has an aggressive, or she usually goes with a type of personality that we call it an aggressive personality. Or it could also be a passive-aggressive personality, but most likely it's an aggressive personality. What is an aggressive personality? An aggressive personality is a personality that is always shouting, it's always loud, it's always have extra pride in itself, or the person that has this personality. And what's the goal of all of that? Is to control other people. They want to control other people. How? By fear. They don't know that usually consciously. They know it unconsciously. Because if I'm loud and I'm always shouting and I'm always putting fear on other people, or trying to put fear on other people's hearts, what's my main thing? Is to control them, to get them to do what I want them to do. Or at least to get them to say, well, I'm sorry, it's my fault, and it will never happen again. That way I also got what I wanted, and I got them to do what I want. This is one thing. And the other issue is that by getting to control other people, what do I do? Or what does the arrogant person do? The arrogant person gets to avoid responsibility. Why? Because I don't have to do anything. Everybody else have to do it for me. So I also avoid responsibility, which is the greatest responsibility towards myself, first of all. Not towards anybody else, but towards myself. And then towards everybody else. You find a lot of people who are arrogant, they call them tyrants. There are like many explanations and expressions to describe an arrogant person. But most likely you're going to find the people who are surrounding or around the arrogant person or have to deal with him, they don't want to be with him. They don't want to deal with him. If they work with him, they don't want to even work with him. They can't wait until they leave. A person who's arrogant is a person who's always avoiding the responsibility, I said, towards himself. Why? Because he's focusing on others. He's not, or she's not, focusing on themselves. By that way, they don't have to take a look at their own faults, their own mistakes. And that's the aggressive personality. Controlling. And that's why it's difficult for them to do supplication prayers. That's why it's difficult for them to realize that there is a higher power than their own power. And that's why we always bring them to reality. By reality therapy, we just like, boom, reality therapy. Is that what's going on, or that's what's going on? And they are very argumentative and they don't take it easy. So I urge every one of you, if you have glimpse of these problems, to sit down with yourself and take a look at yourself and try to humble yourself. Or not try, just do it. Humble yourself once a day. With these thoughts, I'll leave you for today, and we'll meet again tomorrow in another episode of Words of Wellness. Thank you, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.